Many people ask, does Chabad revere the Rebbe far too much? I revere the Rebbe in an unbelievable way. And the way I revere the Rebbe would prompt this question. And it's a good question and it's a fair question because we don't see anyone else being revered on this level. At the same time, we can ask ourselves, why in fact, what is prompting this reverence? And there's a lot that's prompting this reverence, and that is an individual who was unique and distinct, we can say head and shoulders above any other person we experience. And if I had to sum up the uniqueness of what people experience and experienced around the Rebbe, that is a level of integrity and a level of divine integrity, which is something which is unfound anywhere else. And this is really expressed by a tzaddik, by someone who is righteous through and through, which is what integrity is. And while we all make our best efforts, and we can be the finest of people and the greatest of Torah scholars, it's rare that someone should have integrity that shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at every experience, at every time that someone has an encounter with them. That is the experience that people had with the Rebbe. And here's a fascinating thing. The Rebbe was, if I can say it in this way, overwhelmingly understated, which means that there was nothing that the Rebbe ever did or expressed in his mannerisms that were a reflection of making himself significant, which of course would diminish his integrity. But at the same time as well, it demonstrated no effort whatsoever to have people revere him. He was just being who he was. And it was specifically that he was being who he was, which was an expression of the divine, and always being an expression of the divine, that gave him this level of integrity and consistency, which never changed, which gave people such reverence for him. In fact, his wife once stated, after the Rebbe had a massive heart attack, and the Rebbe, in his state of a great physical pain, gave certain instructions to the doctors, which the doctors questioned seriously because it was not advice that any doctor agreed with. And so they were going to defy the Rebbe's instructions. The Rebbe's wife told the doctors that there hasn't been a single moment in my husband's life when he was not in full control of himself. I mean, he had full composure and had clarity about what he was saying. If that's what my husband said, that's what we're going to do. And of course, it all worked out, because that is in fact who the Rebbe was. And that's on a human level. The Rebbe's alignment with divine will and awareness of God was also with that level of integrity. And this is why he's revered so greatly by so many people. And it's understandable that most people never experienced someone like this. And if we never experienced someone like this, we can't imagine sometimes that there was someone that carried this level of integrity, where there was just consistency. And there wasn't the lack of integrity that we find within ourselves all the time, because we are made up of the godly and the mundane, the animalistic side of us and the divine side of us, which we are always trying to align as much as possible. This is why the Rebbe is revered so much. And there's something very beautiful when we revere someone who is with that level of integrity. You see, one of the great resistances that we have to revering someone, for example, very often we will pay someone to coach us, right, to guide us. And when they give us some advice or some guidance, some really good guidance, one of the ways we know it's good guidance is because it challenges us. But that challenge we may not be ready for. And so what do? We say, well, does he really know? Does he know what he's talking about? No. Because when we revere someone, we are submitting in some way. And that requires courage on our side. The Rebbe made that easy. And that's why so many submit themselves to the guidance that the Rebbe has given and gives. And we can still access all of that guidance, and that's a blessing and a gift for every one of us when we do.